what's that doing down there? Hi. How you doing? So there's the set back there, you know, where I usually record. But my editing software, I tell you, it's been giving me much strife as of late. So we're doing it live today, okay? We're doing it live. I didn't do it last week either because I was hoping to have two feature films up, okay? And I actually should probably schedule the year anniversary version of our If Women Are Guitars. I should probably do that now or during the stream maybe. You got me with the shower hair too, you know, so that's cool. But how you guys doing? It's been a minute. It's been a while since I recorded one of these too. I had a lot of them in the can, so I'm excited to speak to the camera about movies again. 1 second. I'll go get rid of the fuzz. Okay, so, today, I'd like to think that I got something fairly interesting for you. Criterion did this silly little thing on their streaming service, because I pay for their streaming service. It's one of the better ones out there. They were just doing this thing that was like, oh, Michelle Yeoh kicks ass, and there was a bunch of things, like a bunch of her films being promoted, you know, every month there's like a collection of films, you know, themed around a director or an actor or whatever, and so yeah, they did one for, Shelley Yeoh, and she's wonderful, But, you know, I also was just recently feeling that I had to give, you know, a proper deep dive into Jackie Chan's greatest works. So I've done so. At least I've watched most of their bigger things. I'm, you know, savoring it a little bit still. I didn't want to watch everything. But then in the midst of all these movies, I was like, frick it, dude. Why don't I just make a silly whittle pod about this? So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, so this is just various works involving Jackie Chan and then leading up to kind of like, you know, the start of Michelle Yeoh and at least one of the films that I've seen the two of them in together, and then we will kind of follow Michelle Yeoh from then on to the modern day, because, you know, this also, I finally showed my little brother Everything Everywhere. I don't know which way to look at me, and you, you know, that was great for me. It was my first time watching it on my Blu-ray. It was my first time watching it since it had been in theaters, and I still got a really great impact from it, and that also kind of set me on this little spiral that I wanted to embark on with you. So here we are. What just happened there? So where does this journey start, you might be asking? Because, I mean, we could go back to, I don't know, what's that? My Babysitter's a Spy, or whatever the fuck that Jackie Chan movie was. But, no, I'm not gonna do that. Actually, this little story, this little tale, this collection, that we're gonna bring about, I'm gonna try to keep my regular background in the background too, but I'm not sitting over there because those stools are awful. They're just terrible. Um, but for the regular episodes, I'll sit there. Live, I'll be elsewhere. At least for as long as I remain in this incarnation of the lab. Um, so anyway, this journey starts. If I could just keep you in suspense a little bit longer, a little bit longer, a little bit longer, with actually a Bruce Lee film, Enter the Dragon, because I recently learned that Jackie Chan was actually in the film. He's a little extra, just in one scene, where, Bruce Lee kind of breaks into the villain's lair, and they've found out that he's there, and they sort of temporarily captured him, but he gets out and he's just going rogue against like 60, 100, however many guys, and one of them randomly, just one guy. You get a nice close-up of it, but it's a blink and you'll miss it thing. I mean, I never noticed watching the film the few times that I have that it was Jackie, but yeah, Bruce is like grabbing Jackie by his hair or something like that. And there's actually a hilarious story surrounding that film where Jackie Chan, essentially the story that he recounted of his day working with Bruce Lee. Bruce accidentally messed up the stunt a little bit and whapped Jackie on the back of his head, made him go black for a little bit. But he was mostly there and he was mostly fine. He recovered quickly, but he essentially just kind of played up the pain a little bit extra, just so, word for word, quote his words, so Bruce Lee could hold him a little longer. So I loved that. Because, hey, I'd be right there, you know what I'm saying? Bruce, you want to help me up, Bruce? Oh, hi, Bruce. So anyway, yeah, and I'm not really gonna go into Enter the Dragon much here. I more so just wanted to recount that story, which I love, and really just point out for anyone else who didn't know that Jackie Chan is in fact in Enter the Dragon, shares just a mere second of screen time with Bruce, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool, two legends, two leggings, as it were. Pretty cool, we like to see that. So now we're actually going to get into the meat of it a little bit, as it were, okay? And that's when I go full, like, 90-degree angle Sopranos, like, listen to me, Jackie Chan. He's a brilliant actor. We start this journey, at least. I mean, I'm not going to talk about every film that Jackie and Michelle have ever made, because, again, I would like to savor some of these. A few of them still leave me very excited to watch. So, I guess for anyone who may be watching that has seen every movie ever by Jackie Chan and Michelle Yeoh, I guess two big ones I won't be talking about is the Heroic Trio films with Michelle Yeoh, because those look fucking bonkers, and like, I really want to see them, but I watched a good handful of Michelle Yeoh films. I was like, there's only so many of these, So soon, very soon, I will watch those. And I don't know, with Jackie, there's like Rumble in the Bronx or whatever. I'm not really going to talk about that one. Whichever one he's running down the building on. I haven't seen that one yet. And pretty much the second half of the Police Story series. So essentially, Police Story films are laid out. I love that I didn't do this before I actually start getting into the films chronologically. Essentially, I'll mention them when I get to the when I get to the Police Story series. Okay, wait, wait, I get there, but I'm not mentioning the last three of those films, just because I also want to savor those. So, with that said, yeah, Drunken Master, I'd always heard about it. It, of course, is a classic. They both are. And they always looked fun, for sure. And just on a whim, amidst this random collection of thoughts of, gotta watch more Jackie Chan, gotta watch more Michelle Yeoh, gotta show my brother, everything, everywhere I went to, this same brother, of which I have two, blood related anyway, and I gotta keep that pearly TV light on me, dude. I just went up and asked him, like, yeah, you want to watch Drunken Master? And he was like, yeah. And we did. We actually did a little double feature. But starting with the first one, just Drunken Master, is really fun. It kind of feels just like the ultimate Jackie Chan audition tape, essentially. Because it's just like a lot of the scenes where there isn't fighting are directed fine. I don't think it's generally directed bad, but like all of the fight scenes are really any scenes where stunts are gonna be happening. It's just the same wide shot. And this, for this movie, it's a compliment. It's the same wide shot over and over and over and over again. But what you're getting in this wide shot, it always is just Jackie and someone else fighting, and you get in full camera, and it looks amazing. There's not necessarily a bunch of like interesting shot types with the fights, but their main goal was allowing you to see it, and they certainly showed us. I loved the hell out of that film. It was highly, highly goofy in a way that I was able to really dig. I wish I could have seen it in like a Cantonese dub or something like that, or at least a dub where Jackie is the one speaking. That's the only one that we watched a dub of, because I believe the only versions I could find were all dubbed. And, it's a late 70s martial arts film, so it's still in that era, where, like, indefinitely, these films, they wouldn't even get these actors to, like, try and learn English a little bit. Like, they just were dubbed over fully. So there's that extra layer of goofiness to it, but the concept itself is goofy as hell. It's goofy as hell and a lot of fun. And when you hear Drunken Master and then you see like a stunt compilation of Jackie Chan things, I go into this movie at least thinking, okay, so he's the Drunken Master from the beginning, but no. Of course not. He's got to learn how to be the Drunken Master. And it's also just, the first one is smartly called Drunken Master, because it doesn't necessarily implicate toward a singular person. It is an open term, as it will, and the master himself is a lot of fun in that movie. That dynamic, which is true to Jackie Chan's life, just having teachers who were like absolutely abusive, and that was their way of administering discipline. That worked. It definitely worked for him, which is good. Oh man, I just gotta notice that my connection is weak. Hopefully this doesn't get too glitchy. Also, I should have said this from the beginning. Maybe this just is me sitting here, I don't know. But yeah, I probably, oh man, see, yeah, I just don't even know. It's throwing so many notices at me. It's spooking me. So hopefully this isn't wholly glitched or anything like that. That would be That would be nice. Anyway. And hopefully there isn't like a dumb fucking watermark on the screen. If there is, I'm sorry. And if there has been this whole time, then I am the goofy owl. Um, so Drunken Master, I love it. It's a lot of fun. It is an action classic, we could call it. A great piece of its era that I certainly would recommend to as many people as possible. It is fairly simple in a means of like it is exactly just like the most simple but effectively filling meal of just here's Jackie in front of a camera just doing a bunch of sick shit, and that's that, and there you go. What else do you want to see? Really, what else do you want to see? And that's why it's like it doesn't matter if the cinematography isn't really like doing anything special, to the point where it literally is just like everything looks the same after a certain point. It's just like every time Jackie moves, it's like, oh my god, I can't even fucking believe this is real. So, love that film. And while I do think it's very good, I could even say great, I think Legend of the Drunken Master, Drunken Master 2, however it's properly referred, I believe it would be The Legend of the Drunken Master, as it is somewhat of like a soft reboot, but not really. Jackie is the same character, but like a lot of the other characters are not there, and they're kind of new characters who you would assume would have been there in the original that are like family related or whatever, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because The Legend of the Drunken Master is a action masterpiece. It is one of the best fucking action movies I think I've ever seen. Easily one of the best action films of the 90s. I was like just on fire the whole time. I thought it was so cool. You know, I was, I mean, Jackie, this one it was made sorry. This one was made, I'm spacing out a little bit. I'm not professional enough. I'm sorry. Legend of the Drunken Master was made 15-ish years, something like that. I don't remember the exact release date of the first film, but it was the late 70s, and Legend of the Drunken Master was the early to mid 90s. And, by this point, Jackie had made so many more of his classics and had done so many more life-defying things. And, the distance is there. Is like, it doesn't make the first one look bad. Everything you're seeing in the first one in terms of choreography is highly impressive. But then the second one starts, and not only is there that jump in the skill, from what was already there, which is fucking shocking as hell, but then you have a movie that is really well directed and where the shots are really cool, and you get a bunch of awesome perspectives where the action is always still in frame, but we're actually getting a little bit of filming happening here, not just putting the camera down and that's it, like not really thinking about it, like we actually have some filmmaking happening here. So I love that. One great thing about them both, too, is that Jackie Chan's character is kind of like I think they call it a wounded hero. Like, it's this Indiana Jones thing, essentially, where your main character, Spider-Man, I would say even goes with this, like, he's not James Bond. He gets his ass beat as much as he beats ass, It's a struggle. It's a constant human... I mean, that's what fights are, like the literal physical human struggle, and it is sloppy. Well, not in Drunken Master. I mean, they make it, look sloppy in terms of like Jackie Chan has to get drunk to fight, that's the whole goof of the thing. But in the first one, it takes about until the end for that to really happen. And there are various martial art forms that have to be learned as well. It's not just like a super potion drinking alcohol. You have to learn the drunken forms, all the drunken katas and all that. And one of them is like the kata of the woman or whatever, and because it's like a womanly set of moves that he has to practice, he doesn't want to do it until the end. And then that's the big goof is, aha, Jackie Chan fights as female. This is going back to the first one. And that was a one instance before I read the Bruce Lee story of just fruitcake Jackie Chan. I was like, Jackie, you have some interesting moves here, Jackie. Very interesting that you would create this entire form of martial arts that allows you to act highly feminine. This is, I commend you wholly. This is very interesting to watch. So I mean, that too, the fact that he is a man with not just the plan, he adapted a whole fucking form of martial arts for this shit, and yet he's not, he doesn't have every character in the film walking up to him being like, you're the coolest dude ever. It's like he actually, had the modesty, the humility to write a character that was highly flawed, a lot of the times the butt of the joke, and again is getting his ass whooped as much as he whoops ass, and that remains into the second one. Like time has passed, but this character is not matured. He has somewhat gotten rusty too, so he's kind of got to rekindle his fire. And it's amazing to watch. The film slips in a slight bit of dramatic weight too, which I really appreciated. It doesn't take itself too seriously or anything, but it just has a couple moments where it weighs itself down with how certain characters are feeling, certain character conflicts, even a character death. That's like, wow, they went out of their way to try and build a human heart around Jackie Chan just fighting. Because, again, that is just what the first one is. There's a little story going on about, oh, there's an assassin out there, and Jackie Chan has to beat them up. But it's like literally as soon as they win the fight against the villain, like the movie ends. Like as soon as he's knocked out, they're like, woohoo! And credits start. Like it is, Drunken Master, the first one, is just a Jackie Chan audition tape. And it's the best audition tape ever made. But Legend of the Drunken Master, has so much going for it as a film, and in all the best ways. I really just want to watch it again, too, because it's so goddamn fun. Yeah, I love Jackie. I love that film. I love that film series. So glad I double featured them, too. Jackie Chan's performance, just watching him do all of these stunts, throwing down all of these drinks, assuming they're fake, of course, obviously, but still doing, like, any amount of higher physical activity while, like, trying to, keep putting liquid down your throat. Like, that alone is, like, you could easily just at any moment, like, swing, some of that liquid down the wrong pipe, and then you're immediately fucking hacking up on the ground, like. And he's just whipping his body around, and I mean, just doing some of the craziest shit I've seen the movie ever. I adore adore The Legend of the Drunken Master. I can't wait to watch it again. Can't wait to own them. I'm going to own those friggin' movies, dude. I will buy those someday. You know, however they've been released, I will have to see. And yeah, so, you know, I guess that's my thoughts for that, you know, not necessarily doing hour-long breakdowns over here, at least not at the moment. And these are also, you know, we got some lighter content today, a lot of fun action movies, you know. So, with that said, we're gonna move on to one of the goofiest fucking movies that will be spoken about today, which is Police Story. This was a film that Jackie Chan did in the mid-'80s, and he did this film with Maggie Young, I believe, who went on to be in Chungking Express, and she was, or was it Chungking? No. It's the other woman who is in this movie, A Police Story, that was in Chungking. Yes, she's the other famous actress in Police Story. Is the sunglasses wearing gal in Chungking, and then I believe Mei Wong is the Irma Vep woman, and maybe In the Mood for Love too. Yeah, In the Mood for Love. I knew it was a Wong Kar-wai film. It was losing me which one, but still, notorious people involved with this film. It's a big ass movie, and like the first act is like this crazy scale of practical hijinks, you know, between physical fights and then this whole fucking car stunt. You know, it's some real insane shit, and then it all of a sudden, like 25 minutes in, for nearly the rest of the movie until like the last 10 minutes, it is the most like goofy romp, like love triangle slapstick movie. I thought like I was fucking, what's that stupid fucking thing that the Mandela effect? Like I thought I like changed universes or whatever and was watching a different movie. I was just sitting there like, no, I had fun. I just that tone. The movie starts off. You think it's gonna be like I don't know, a fucking Lethal Weapon movie or something like that. And then I've got another notice. Nice. I really do wonder if I'm gonna be talking and then it's just gonna like go black. Well, in case of it didn't, you know, the film starts and it has this not like, you know, fully serious tone, but it is like pretty serious. And then it goes off the wall and it's amazing. And then the ending, you know, kind of comes back and sort of puts these two elements together. It is funny and fun, but also insanely wacky. And before I get into the wackiness of this ending, I would just quickly note that Legend of the Drunken Master probably has my favorite ending of any film Jackie Chan has done. And maybe my favorite ending out of any of these films I'm talking about today. It is one of the most hilarious, like, kind of a fuck you almost ending to a film that I've ever seen in The Legend of the Drunken Master. And ending of Police Story is really just a fuck you to Jackie Chan's vertebrae or whatever the fuck he fucked up when he went, you know, sliding down a pole with a bunch of lights and then onto glass lights. I should be more specific, actually. Lights, he's sliding down this pole with a lot of like real glass versions of these kinds of lights and a lot bigger bulbs too, and he's just going right through them all, and then he like jumps off the pole and falls with back down, through some glass, and it's all pretty much practical, so it's just like, what the fuck, dude? Why? Why'd you have to? I mean, it looks cool, but like, couldn't he use like not real glass or something? I don't know. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people kind of got hurt on the set of those movies. All the Police Story films, at least the 3 that I watched, end with like bloopers, but mostly just like reels of them being fucked up and hurt. It's pretty intense. So I was a big fan of Police Story. I thought it was fun. It would be kind of like a fun like date movie if your date happens to be into like action movies. It's got a good balance of the romantic romp, even though, again, Jackie Chan, he wrote and directed the first 2 Police Stories, and here a modesty is still shown where, yeah, he didn't write for the 2 women to just be schmooching him up the whole movie. He wrote himself as like a bumbling buffoon. So hey, we look up to him for that. And Police Story 1, probably a film that I guess I will reminisce more, compared to other 80s films that are, like a Commando or whatever the hell, where it's just like, oh, a buff 80s guy does boring run around and loves, fucking, I don't know what they even do in those movies. They just shoot people and say puns. Like, they love to say puns, and they love to shoot people. And then they shoot people and say more puns, and it's over. It's like, yeah, okay. That's cool, but, yeah, not only do I just get more excitement from watching these movies, there is that humility. It's not like, Arnold Schwarzenegger is the coolest fucking person who ever existed. It's like, we're here to have fun, right? We're not here to, like, suck this guy's cock. And Jackie Chan doesn't really have people, he doesn't really force people to do that to him, from what I know. So that is cool. Police Story 1 is cool. Police Story 2 kind of just feels like DLC, additional content for Police Story 1. Like, it's weird. The, conflict is pretty much solved in Police Story 1. You could watch it and very easily have a good self-contained experience from that. And then, like, there's a shock return that the villain is back. But Jackie kind of already knows how to, like, handle everything in this movie. And the villains are, like, constantly getting whooped. And they're handled when there's still, like, 50 minutes left in the movie. And then it's, like, a whole new threat. So it does have like a weird sense of pacing to it, but there's still incredible action showcases, still, plenty of just really enjoyable moments with Jackie in general, just sort of watching him have to run, like the last act definitely gets a lot more thrilling per se. The stakes really shoot up, and Jackie is just running around everywhere, kind of trying to, or well, I won't say much. I've been keeping this one not spoiler, so I was really, even though the last act of the film feels very separated from everything else, I was still, I was feeling it. It was a lot of fun. I don't really know if it tops the first movie, even though the action is super fun. And you get a lot more of it in Police Story 2 as well. So I think I like it more in that regard, but as a whole movie, Police Story 1 just it stands on its own a lot better, you know. Police Story 2 is a little too attached, a little too dependent on the first one, maybe. And, other than that, it's not necessarily a downgrade or anything. It's a slight preference thing. It really, I guess, it just kind of does come down to the pacing. The first one has it in the pacing. The second one has a bit more of the action. Although, I guess, the couple moments where there are action in the first one, it still is right at that level, if not a bit above where most of the action scenes in Police Story 2 are. But still great watch, still pretty fun. Both of these are on HBO, too. So they are out there for people to watch. And so with that, I will mention the Crossing film. Now we're here at the layover, the overlap. We haven't done many. And Michelle Yeoh. And Michelle Yeoh was, essentially, at this point, already a pretty big star. Now we're in the 90s with Police Story 3 Super Cop, which was the last of them that I watched. The remaining three are Super Cop, the direct sequel to Police Story Super Cop. It's a spin-off about Michelle Yeoh, the Super Cop, and Jackie Chan has a little bit role in that, but it's a Michelle Yeoh-focused film, so that's pretty cool. And then it's The Stuntman. Maybe it's just called The Stuntman, but it's a movie where Jackie Chan, he is the Police Story guy, but, they're just calling him Jackie for most of the movie, and, really mostly no one else is there except for, the Uncle DA guy. Maybe, but that one is, the most detached, even though one of them barely even has Jackie Chan in it, the fifth film in the series. It just really isn't even about that world as much anymore. But then the last one, Police Story something, I don't remember the name of the final one, but the final one is the edgelord Police Story movie where everyone dies and Jackie Chan is all dramatic. No! I need to see that. No! I need to see that Jackie Chan. So I'm very excited for that movie. Again, I'm savoring. I will watch these at another point. I love to grow with a series before I finish it. It's the joy of multiple installments. So anyway, Super Cop 3, Michelle Yeoh joins the game. She joins the party, and essentially she's just a girl boss lady cop, who's pretending to, work for the Chinese government or something, and, from that point on, just, Jackie Chan plus Michelle Yeoh awesomeness takes place, and they're both insane together. Michelle Yeoh, part of the reason why she rose to stardom so quick, I assume, is the fact that she is insanely fucking amazing at, martial art related choreography and film, but she never had a fucking day of training, so it's wow. And I mean, in this movie, in Police Story 3, you watch this woman drive a fucking motorcycle on top of like a real moving train. And like I'm sure the train was probably going slower than, you know, it's made to look in the movie. I'm sure that there were probably a million people all around. But you know, in each of these films they show the blooper reel, the footage, and you know, you see so many people doing that, the real things. You see the real pain, the real stunts. That's the whole point. And you see Michelle Yeoh really fucking get on this motorcycle, this little chopper, a dirt bike, and jump onto a fucking train and go with it. I mean, it's just crazy. You know, in the previous one, you had a little blooper of Maggie Young with just like a bit of metal kind of backed her head, but her whole fucking head was bleeding, and I just hated seeing that woman hurt. I was like, no. No one can let that woman get hurt. You can't do it. So, sadly in these movies, Maggie Young only takes the pain. She does not get to dish any. In the heroic trilogy, or heroic trio in those films, in that and Executioners, Maggie Young and Michelle Yeoh are in both of those as action stars with another classic actress. So I'm excited to see them there doing, you know, action